All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with our Wednesday night lifestyle and legacy presentation. Myself and Mr. Eric Wilner are going to be your guest speakers tonight. We are honored to host this event every single Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm excited to be here with you. Listen, we've got enough time left, about a minute before we launch. Send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. Let's get as many people engaged in this process as possible. Now is the time to tell the greatest story that exists on the planet right now, and that's MWR. So once again, we'll give you enough time. Send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. Want to thank Mr. Fernando Ramirez for setting all this up and helping make all of this happen. My good friend, Mr. Eric Willen, will be joining us shortly, and we're going to launch this presentation. Now, promising tonight not to be before you long, but to provide you with some very impactful information. So, guys, get excited or stay broke forever. That's our theme, and that's what we believe in because we talk about freedom here on this side of things with MWR, and that's what we've got, the opportunity to set people free. Gilbert, welcome to the platform. Miss Alicia Caballo, welcome to the platform. Miss Cassandra Wooten, absolutely welcome to the platform. Fernando, once again, glad to have you. Guys, it's loading up. Send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. We've got less than a minute now, less than a minute to launch our presentation. So we're excited, and I hope that you are because there's a lot to be excited about. So hang around or stick around and hear and see what all the excitement is about. It's MWR. I'm telling you, we're the first and only company in this country that are doing some major things as it relates to helping people get their financial life in order, to give them the tools to succeed, to fix the problems that they currently have, but also to propel their life to a different level through investment vehicles like precious metals, land banking, PRAs, DCAs, all of these tools that we've created that actually we didn't create. They've always been around, but we now have access. Unlike ever before, we've got direct access. So MWR has leveled the playing field, and we're excited to have all of you here tonight. I'm going to go to screen share, Fernando, and pull up the PowerPoint, and then we'll let Mr. Wilner come in, and we'll get going here. Guys, I tell you what, there's no better time to be a part of this than now. With everything that's happened, everything that's coming, you want to be in the catbird seat. You want to position yourself to win, and the only way you do that is get in the game because you can't win the game if you're not in it. But we have a real chance to get in it and win it in a major way. So I'm excited. And Fernando, if you would just kind of let me know when Eric shows up, and I'll keep the conversation going, giving people enough time to get more people engaged in the process. Get them on the phone. Let them know that we're about to start. Send them the link. Make those last minute phone calls. Send out those last minute messages. Let people know that we're ready to go. And we want to share some great news with them. If you're seeing and hearing this for the first time, I strongly suggest you grab a pencil and paper. You're going to want to take some notes on this one because this is a big deal. This is a real big deal. This is about your freedom. And we're excited to be able to provide you with a vehicle to help you reach the life that you want, the life that you desire, the life that you deserve. And not just you and I, but our children and even their children. We've got the opportunity now to do something incredible, and we've got the vehicle to do it with. I mean, the average person has a real shot for basically the price of a cup of coffee a day. That's what we're offering you, a chance to really move your life to a different level. This is MWR, guys. And for those who don't know, MWR stands for Make Wealth Real. And this is where lifestyle and legacy connect. So once again, I'm excited and I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. And looks like you guys are too. Send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. We're going to slow it down for a moment until my co-host, Mr. Eric Wilner, joins us on the platform. Fernando, I'm not able to see him. If he is here, give me heads up, or I'm sure he'll pop over on the screen. He's an
Yeah,
extreme.
we'll do that, Dr. W. Parker. You know, he's always on the go, so I know he's about to pop in. I just text him, so he should be here shortly. Good evening,
Oh, no
everyone.
doubt. No doubt about it. We know how busy he is, and rightfully so. He's highly successful in the real estate business. He has developed and actually created the longest running syndicated real estate radio show in the country. And for decades, he's been doing this and teaching people, helping people understand how to secure their future through real estate, which is another investment vehicle that we offer. Not only that, we offer you a chance to own a home. If you're renting and desire to own a home, you want to meet Eric Wilner, who's responsible for bringing the keys to home ownership to this platform, MWR. So, guys, we've got everything that you need to get your financial life in order. Whether you're trying to repair your credit, save money on taxes, pay your debts off early, save money on your everyday spending, dining, shopping, or even save money on your cell phone, internet, cable, satellite. all of those things. We're going to show you a way to put that money back into your pocket. Now, once we put that money back in your pocket, we're not going to blow it this time because many of us have, but we're going to put this money into a vehicle that will give you a return. We're going to talk about some real investments here, and precious metals being one of them with our new leasing program that's going to launch in October. This is an exciting time. Imagine the ability in the next 1 to 5 years to accumulate $500,000 in wealth. All right, $500,000 in wealth and a residual income tied to it at the same time. I've never seen anything like it. I got to tip my hat to my good friend of 20 plus years, the CEO and founder of MWR, Mr. Brian House, who God gave this vision to, and he ran with it. I thank him for his obedience, and I thank God for him. So we're excited. There's my man right there. We're going to get him in the driver's seat here. And we're glad to have him on board. So Mr. Wilner has joined us, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to launch a presentation just as soon as he gets settled in and gets comfortable. We're going to bring you one of the most successful guys that I've ever met, and an honorable man too. You know, he has some incredible values that he shared with me the moment that we met 3+ years ago. And it's been an honor to know him, to be not only in business with him, but to be a friend as well. But there's some core beliefs that he carries with him that he believes everyone deserves. And he's strong about this. He speaks about it with a level of commitment that I've never seen, a level of passion and compassion. So, Mr. Wilder, if you're there, welcome to the platform, sir.
I am here. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, but I cannot see.
Okay, it might be because I'm in the dark. I'm in my car. Believe it or not, I just exited the Newsmax studios here in Florida, and meeting ran a little bit long, but I wouldn't miss tonight for anything.
Well, we're glad to have you, sir, and we'll get going. And once you transition from the vehicle to the home, we'll pick you up, and the people will be able to see you. But while we're doing that, if you've got a moment, please share those core beliefs that we talk about that you hold so dear to your heart.
Well, thank you, because I really do love to share these core beliefs. It's something that I've developed over the years of my career. And you'll see that everything that I do really revolves around these three beliefs. Number one is I believe that everybody should own a home. They should own their own home. I dedicated my life in the real estate business, in the mortgage business, and I think that people who, well, I don't even think, there's studies now that show that families that grow up in an owned home are the fewer divorce, less drugs, less teenage pregnancy. There's all sorts of reasons, and I'm not even talking about the difference in net worth of people that own versus rent. My second big belief is that you should have your financial house in order, and that's with a written plan. I thoroughly believe that there's so many distractions, there's so many commercials, there's so many ways for us to spend our money or have our money vacuumed out of our wallet, that we have to have a written plan that we can refer to and stick by. And by the way, tonight, what I'm really happy to say is that I found a company that aligns very well with these values and provides all the things that I'm talking about. And finally, number three, I believe that everyone should have a business. And it doesn't matter whether it's a part-time business, a freelance business, or a full-time business. But the bottom line is that there are two tax codes. And just having a business gives you access to over 400 and plus different write-offs and benefits that you want to have access to. And you can do that very easily simply by having your own business. Not to mention that it usually accelerates your path to financial freedom, which at the end of the day, you know, here we are talking about where lifestyle and legacy connect. That's where legacy really happens, is when we're able to go to a restaurant and not limit our selection by the prices, to be able to know that we have, you know, everyday income coming in to cover our everyday expenses. So those are my core beliefs. And now you see why I get excited every morning to get up. I do my radio show. I share these beliefs. And now tonight we get to share it with more people.
No question about it, sir. Those core beliefs are strong as thunder. And I don't know if I ever shared with you what it made me feel like when you shared those with me when we first met. I'd heard people talk about beliefs and things that they really wanted to see happen for themselves and others, but never anyone share it with such passion the way you do. You believe in it. It's strong. It runs. It's in your blood, and I love that. So I do understand clearly how this lines up with who you are, because we are, in essence, doing exactly what you desire to have happen in people's lives. We bring a realistic solution to the table so that they can make those three core beliefs a reality in their own life. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking MWR, Make Wealth Real. As Eric said, this is where lifestyle and legacy connect. So we're going to get into our conversation here and help you understand what we're bringing to the table. When we talk about MWR, we're the first and only lifestyle and legacy company of its kind. You won't see this anywhere else. Nobody else has done this, and nobody else will probably even be able to follow this. We're blazing the trail. We've set the bar high, but we're delivering the lifestyle that people dream of through the programs that we offer. We were founded in 2017, a totally debt-free company. In 8 years, a multi-million-dollar company. And that says a lot about the leadership. But, Eric, these next three things that I'll share kind of line up also with the mission that you have. When we talk about MWR's mission, what do they want to do? They want to help the average everyday person experience true time and financial freedom. So we can take someone from zero to hero. I don't care where you are in your financial life right now. We can position you to win. And that's because of the vision, right? The vision of the company is to create more financial independent families than any other company in history. I want to be a part of that. And here's the final piece. We've got access now. All right. The playing field has been made even. It's leveled. We've pulled back the curtains. You and I and everyone else involved in MWR, and even those who don't know about it, you get full access to the same systems, strategies, and experts previously reserved for only the wealthy. So we wonder why, a small percentage of the population controls the great percentage of the wealth. Is because, again, these strategies and these systems, they're reserved for a handful. But now, again, Eric, the playing field has been made even, so we've got a shot.
That's the thing. And, what most people don't realize that, the average income in America today, is around, $50,000, $60,000. When you multiply that $50,000 over a 40-year career, more than $2 million goes through the average household. And yet you're talking about the majority of the people, 80% of the population retires financially dependent, living and depending on Social Security. Then there's the 20%, that make it by, and the 20% of the 20% that are truly financially wealthy. And I think that this is an opportunity to change those numbers.
Oh, no question about it. We've got a real shot at doing it. And this is how we're going to do it, guys. Let's talk about MWR's risk-free way to tap into the global financial market. And Eric, when we talk about the global financial market, right? And 30% of that market makeup is finances, right? Money is exchanging hands every single day. So what does 30% of the global economy look like in the way of dollars? That translates into $36 trillion, the current market size. This is today's financial sector valuation. Now, these numbers are projected to grow over the next 5 years, Eric, to 50 trillion. I'm having a tough time even saying it. We're not talking millions or billions. We're talking trillions of dollars. That is amazing. So what that says to me is that there's enough for all of us. We can get a piece of this pie.
Not only is there enough for all of us, but the neat thing about what that says, we have this conversation about money about once a day, and if not more. The truth of the matter is the conversation that we're having, the company that we're talking about lives, eats, and breathes in the single most common conversation that Americans have every day, whether it be interest rates, inflation rates, the employment or unemployment. The financial market is the driver, right? 30% of the global economy revolves around this industry that we're in and we're talking about right now.
No question about it, sir. So let's lay the plan out. We talk about the development of a three-step process, right? So this is your three-step path to wealth that MWR has created that everybody has access to. Well, we know, Eric, that in order to get this process started, meaning you've got to have money in hand in order to fund an investment vehicle. So the challenge for most of us is, where do we get the money from? We're not saving enough. We don't have, basically people are paid on Friday, broke on Monday, living paycheck to paycheck, working just to pay bills. So where do we get this money to begin this process of investing, where we'll get a return on that investment that could possibly create a situation that sets us free, right? I think it was Warren Buffett who said, if you don't find a way to create a situation where you've got money invested that pays you while you're asleep, then unfortunately, you're going to work until you die. And that is the sad scenario for most people in this country. But we've got a way out of that. So let's get the money. Where do we get it from? We get it from the bank. All right. And we're going to begin to operate the same way the banks does. So we access guaranteed unsecured business funding. And now what do we do next? We purchase income producing assets, something that we should all be doing anyway. So we generate now passive monthly income while benefiting from appreciation over time through the vehicle that MWR has created. But Eric, here's the best news of all. We get a chance to share this good news, meaning offer this path to others and generate multiple streams of immediate and residual income.
And that's what I like about this company, is the simple, straightforward approach. 1, 2, 3, use other people's money. That's what the wealthy do. They don't depend on just their own assets. They use leverage. And this company will teach you how to do the same. And once you have access to that leverage, the name of the game is to make it produce income. So let's talk a little bit about how that works, because when you figure this very simple approach, you're going to want to tell everybody.
No question about it. And so, yes, let's dig deeper and talk about this approach. So how do we secure the money? We created a vehicle to allow you to do that, MWR Fundable 360. But here's the thing, and I'll let you elaborate on this one, Eric. This is business credit and funding made easy. So we're not talking about you using personal credit. We're talking about a minimum of $50,000, no collateral required, experts guidance throughout the entire process. The funding is guaranteed. So once this door opens, guys, I mean, look, it's ongoing funding. So we continue to go back to the well. But Eric, talk about, because you're in the credit space, right? You have been in the financial service space for decades. When we talk about personal credit versus business credit, is there advantage of having two credit profiles?
Absolutely. In fact, most people don't even know that business credit is a thing, that you can have a business credit score. So one of the beautiful things about MWR is that they address both personal credit, included as part of our membership. You can create, build, repair, or grow your credit, but not just your personal credit. But imagine having two lendable credit profiles, one personal and one business. And the business does not depend on your personal. They are truly independent. And what our company does, because they do it so well, they guarantee you a minimum of $50,000 in business credit, access to substantial funding for whatever purpose that you want to use. You need more inventory? Great. You want to invest in more equipment in your business? Great. You want to, buy other assets? Even better. But the neat thing about this is using none of your own personal credit, not putting up any of your own personal collateral. And as I mentioned before, it's our experts that are guiding you every step of the way. They will help you how to set things up, how to present yourself to the banks so that they will lend to you. And the other thing about this is this is an ongoing process. So once they get you the initial funding, you're going to treat it responsibly, pay it back, and then you're going to be offered more and more, because what banks love to do, they love to increase credit limits to people who pay their debts reliably. And again, that all comes with a guarantee that if you can't get that funding, they'll give you your money back. So it's a no lose opportunity to build leverage and grow.
I mean, this is amazing to me. We talk about a guarantee, $50,000, and if they can't get it done for you, you get your money back. As you say, this is a no lose proposition. So, guys, we're winning on this side. So now what happens? We secured the $50,000 using the bank's money, not our own. And so what we do now, we secure our future. What do? We purchase silver, gold, platinum, and other precious metals. And what happens next? We store those metals in a licensed insured depository. Why we want to do that? Because we are going to take advantage of MWR's leasing platform that has never been done, that we're the only ones who've taken the lead to do this. And what we're going to be doing now is earning money every single month through this exclusive leasing program. Now we talk about appreciation. We're going to benefit from long-term value growth of precious metals. Eric, you watch the market every day. You participate in the market. You hold precious metals yourself. You've seen the increase, particularly as it relates to silver. What is happening with the growth of that metal? I mean, over the past 90 days.
Yeah, and one of the things that I really like are what I call hard assets. There's the precious metals, all of them, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, but there's specific ones, and we have the experts that guide you in what to buy. But here's the thing about hard assets like precious metals, like real estate, is that they're not making any more land. They're not making, the whatever precious metals are still in the ground, but there's a finite amount. And for that reason, when we have an ever-growing population, but a finite amount of resources, those resources go up in value as the demand increases. There's no question about it. There will be cycles, up and down cycles, but in the long run, there's nowhere to go but up for these kind of hard assets that retain their value. And precious metals, no exception, they appreciate over time. And the neat thing, and most people, again, here's another area where MWR brings financial intelligence to an area of people's lives that most people aren't even aware that there's precious metals platforms, that there's physical repositories. In other words, we're not talking about derivatives or paper representations of the metals. We're talking about when you buy silver, you get silver. That silver gets stored in a place that's secured and insured. But here's another thing that most people won't realize. Do you know that while you're storing your precious metals, you can actually lease those out to businesses, and they have all of their business reasons why they want that, but they're willing to pay you handsomely. So same thing as real estate. I can buy the asset, fix it up and sell it. I can buy the asset and just live in it and hold it, but I can also lease it out and create cash flow. So let's talk about that.
No question about it, sir. I like where you go with this. But let's stay with silver for a moment and look at what the experts are predicting over the next 5 years. A 60% increase in value. That to me is just mind-blowing. But we see it happening. Now, I learned the other day that there's so many components to silver as it relates to the uses, right? So you pick up your cell phone, portions of that, the inner workings of that phone is silver, medical devices, all kinds of things that is being used for. So that's why we see this crazy increase in value. You talk about the population increasing, there's going to be a need for more of these things that, portions of it is made with silver. So that does help increase the value. But Eric, I'd like for you to kind of break it down for us. Now that we've got the $50,000, we've secured the bank's money. All right, naturally it's going to be a payback. But when you talk about the leasing opportunity, what does it look like over time? Walk us through this thing and help us understand where we could be 12 months from now.
Right. And the thing about this 50,000, we'll use the $50,000 minimum guarantee just for starters. Now, I know it's tempting when you get money that's not based on your credit, not based on any of your collateral, to go want to run and celebrate. But remember, this is a business proposition here. What we want to do is responsibly, in fact, intelligently take that money and invest it. Let's just say we take the $50,000, buy $50,000 worth of the silver, and once you access, because it costs you nothing while you're not using the money, okay? But the minute that you access it, you're going to pay some interest on it. Here, let's just say at 8%, which is the current going rate, $50,000 would cost you $333 a month. And that's good. What's even better is that you can generate with this leasing program right now, an example again of something that's going on, of monthly leasing income at 1.5% per month. Notice the difference. 8% per year versus 1.5% per month. You get a positive cash flow. You got cash flow coming in of $750 a day, subtract out that $333 cost, and you have a net monthly profit of $416 plus change. Well, multiply that by 12 months, we're talking about a $5,000 income from money that you didn't have to put collateral up for, and now you've got a positive cash flow on other people's money. It's a beautiful thing. Hopefully this is simple enough for people to understand. But meanwhile, while that's going on, the silver is also appreciating, right? On average, based on the recent past, 13% appreciation. So now my $50,000 has generated a $5,000 in cash, free and clear cash, plus $6,500 in additional equity, for a total of $11,500 in new value because I leverage it. So now at the end of the year, my holdings are worth $61,500. If I wanted to, I could stop right here, pay back the $50,000 and walk away with $11,500. But let me show you why you don't want to do that.
Wow. And we've done all this without risking a penny of our own money. Now we're watching our wealth multiply. I mean, this track is quite fast. 1 to 5 years to accumulate $500,000 in assets, and then $4,000 a month in passive income. Now, Eric, what I love about what we're doing here, not only are you, taking advantage of the appreciation of the metal, right? So, and that allows you to accumulate this wealth or this value of nearly $500,000 or over $500,000 in assets. But at the same time, because we're engaged in the leasing program, there's a return on this investment. There's $4,000 a month at play. I mean, this is quite amazing. But let's put it all together, because here's something I know you really love. To tell this story to people, because we know that the many people in this country need a way out, right? So the question that we always ask is, how many people do you and I know that would like a risk-free way to accumulate millions in income producing assets without using their own money? We know the answer. That's everybody. I mean, honestly, if a person knew that there was a realistic way for you to create the life of your dreams, I think everybody and their mother, if they knew this exists, would be all over it. And I'm just convinced the only reason that everybody in America is not already engaged in MWR simply because they've not heard about it. But that's where we come in. We get a chance to tell this story, but not only just tell the story to help somebody improve their life, but we're going to get paid a ridiculous amount of money to tell this story, because we're going to build a team, a network. Help us understand how this works, Eric.
Right. And this is step 3 of our simple 1, 2, 3 formula. When you see and understand what we just laid out in very simplistic but realistic terms, you're going to tell people the same way you tell people about great restaurants, great shows, movies, you name it, a great service. You're going to tell other people about it. It's just human nature, and that's a good thing. So just imagine if you shared it in the first year with 12 people, just 12. That's like sharing it with one a month. But I promise you, remember, this is the conversation that you're having every single day. You should be sharing it with 365 people. But the bottom line is, let's just say, make it simple. Share it with 12 people. Now, out of those 12 people, some are going to be too busy to share it. So half of them go on and they have the same good experience. They go on and share it. Half of those people, so 12 shares with 6, 6 shares with 3, and as you see the progression, right? Because it's 12 people that shared it with 6, it's 6 people that shared it with another 3, all the way down. You're going to build a network, okay? After these iterations of over 1,164 people, many of which you have never met in the past and may never ever meet in the future. But that's how word of mouth passes around the world. You know, they say that the world there's only 6 degrees of separation between me, you, and all the other 8 billion people on the planet. So think about that. That's why this word of mouth is so important. Businesses love, this is the best kind of business that there is trusted word of mouth. And now, because of technology, where we are today, because of the industry that we're in, we have figured out a way that compensate people quite handsomely for spreading the word when they have a good experience, and you're going to have a good experience with this membership.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, you think about 1,100 people over whatever period of time you decide to put the work in, whether it's 12 months or 12 years, because of the MWR revenue sharing plan, 1,100 people pays you $12,000 a month. You're generating that in residual income. So add the 12,000 to the 4,000 you're receiving through the precious metals investment. That's passive income. Eric, that's a total of $16,000 a month. Whether you go to work or not, whether you get out of bed or not, $16,000 a month can buy you a good life in any city in this country, and even probably a better life outside of this country. This is amazing to me that we have the ability to generate this level of income. But let's keep going.
Well, it's funny that you say even outside of this country, because one of the beautiful things about this business is that you can literally do it from anywhere. You can, your startup costs are not much more than a cell phone, and the membership. You can build a residual income. Okay. Now, this is everyday income to pay your everyday expenses nonstop. Passive, not involving your time, your efforts, all with the help of experts who are going to show you exactly how to do that.
That's the best part about what we do, my friend. You'll hear Fernando Ramirez always say, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So we get a chance to build a residual income by referring others to the premier wealth building system of this century. It hasn't happened. Nobody else is doing it. It's going to be hard to follow us because we've set the pace. As Eric said, you're going to get paid every day, every week through our payment structure, receiving right now money for right now bills. That's pretty impressive. Industry leading payout. I mean, there's no compensation plan or revenue sharing plan in this industry that can touch what we're doing in the way of your ability to generate income. They put it all on the table, Eric. And let's start here with our luxury residual income, the potential. This thing maxes out at $15,000 a day. We do the math there. We're talking $450,000 a month, which is more than $5 million a year. What sort of life can we create for ourselves with this sort of potential?
Well, when I saw these numbers, the first reaction is it looks too good to be true. But as we're about to show, this is the helicopter view of the income possibility. And then we'll drill down in simplified, because one of the beautiful things about this business, it's very simple. And when you break it down, then it's easier for you to understand and to implement. So let's do that. But when I saw this, I will tell you, Gerald, that I saw athletes' money available to the average person, and that's phenomenal.
And that is, but so yeah, let's dig a little deep and kind of break it down to help people, that our audience, understand the simplicity in this and the kind of money that's really on the table. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our revenue sharing plan. There's no better person to break it down because he's a numbers guy and he's crunched the numbers on these things and know exactly how it works. He's been successful using this very model to put himself in a position to generate a massive residual income. So Eric, help us understand how we get this. How do we grab this money?
So first of all, you understand the business, and of course, I'm assuming that you're going to get excited about this opportunity. So you're going to tell people. Now, what you want to do, and I'll bet you these names are sitting in your phone right now as we speak. You want to find 3 people and start building your team. Earlier, I talked about sharing it with 12. Now let's go just to share it with 3 people. And like I said, you could do that in one day, one night, 1 week, doesn't really matter. But if you do it within the first 30 days, the company promotes you. And now you are eligible for one of 7 different income streams. Okay. Number 1, every time that you bring someone in to join your team, there's a what do they call it? A joining bonus of some sort.
Signing bonus.
$50. A signing bonus. All right. So for each 150, there's $150 right there. But now when you have that team of 3, the company is now going to give you a daily income of $5 a day. Okay, so there's another $150 during your first month. And if you do this in your first month, on top of those, they'll give you what's called a momentum bonus. So there comes another $150. So I'm going to tell you that, this membership is a business that you can build literally in 30 days, and it'll self-fund itself in the process.
Yep.
Now, we talked about a momentum bonus, Gerald. Supposedly, what are you going to do in month 2? You're going to go out and get another 3? Well, actually, the company says if you just help your original 3 get their 3, so they repeat what you just did, the company will reward you with $450 bonus in the second month. Their first month, they're getting a $150 bonus. You're getting a $450 bonus for being the team leader and helping people to realize their dreams. Well, momentum means keep it going, get it going. And now in month 3, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get the freshman incoming class, help them to get their 3. But you see, right now in the process, when I got my 3, who got 3? Now I have 12. The company promoted me now instead to $20 a day. Now, I'll be very honest with you. When I first saw $5 a day was not exactly going to move the needle in my life, but it was proof of concept, and we like to see proof of concept. Hey, I did this little thing, and true to their word, I started getting $5 a day. Next month, $20 a day. Next month, $50 a day. Notice so far I only have found 3. My 3 found 3. Now I have 12. There's your $20 team. Then that new incoming class gets their 3. So now we're at a total of 36 people, $50 a day. And here's an important thing. We're just talking about the first 90 days, Gerald, first 90 days. But I now have a business that is profitably earning $1,500 a month, $50 a day. And by the way, we're paid daily. Okay, you don't have to wait till the end of the month. Every day that money comes in. You and I both know we get a little text notification right around the same time every day around 5 o'clock saying that this day's deposit was transferred into your account. But here's the other thing, so I just talked about the first 90 days. And if it took you, 90 weeks, is that not better than working 40 years of your life, putting in 40 hours a week? And by the way, what we talked about was not 40 hours a week worth of work. But the average Social Security check in America today, go look it up on socialsecurity.gov. The average Social Security check today is a little over $1,600. That takes most people their entire career to build up to. And right here, you just saw how to do it in 90 days. Well, whether you look at it as replacing Social Security or doubling Social Security, the bottom line is now we have momentum and we can start. Well, you continue that process of helping the new incoming class and go ahead and go out and get some folks yourself. This is not doing it all yourself. This is why building a team and being a good team leader gets handsomely rewarded. As my good friend, Dr. Gerald Parker often says, we get paid ridiculous amounts of money for the amount of work that we do. And what work are we doing, by the way? We're sharing the good news. We bring the people to MWR, the experts do the work, and we get paid. Now, as your group grows to $50 a day, $100 a day, $150 a day, $150 a day, by the way, that's $4,500, $54,000. Remember I said the average income in America, when someone who's worked 10 years in their career to get to that level, and you can do that. We've had people do that in, 6 months and less. Well, do you know that at $300 a day, just a few more, and again, this has been done, you do it at your pace. What I look at this chart and I say, this is my income menu. You pick what income level do you need to be where you want to be, and then be willing to roll up your sleeves and put in, a couple years of solid work and you will have a lifetime of solid income. At $300 a day, that's $9,000 a month. Times 12 is a six-figure, $100,000 income, okay? And that is what most people are dreaming about, having a six-figure income. Well, here you can have not only a six-figure income, you could have a seven-figure income, and it's all up to you.
It's the most incredible compensation plan I've ever seen, Eric. The ability to generate this level of income. The sky's the limit. Whatever you want from it, it will give you, as you say, that you pick your number, and that's truly the way this works. Now you've shared the daily guarantee. You showed us what we can do every single day, but added to that, you said there were 7 or 8 different streams of income. That lifestyle bonus is in that play. That's $300 a week over and above what Eric just shared with you, and the legacy bonus, where you have the ability now, once you hit 3-star, that level he talked about, $50 a day, that unlocks another stream of income. So now you're making $30 on everybody that joins your organization, whether you sponsor them or not. And that maxes out at $150 per person that joins your organization. Guys, it doesn't get it. Well, I was about to say, Eric, it doesn't get any better, but actually it does, because look at what happens when we go to the next slide. We're talking about the Fundable 360, the ability to give people who need business funding or want business funding the ability to do so. MWR is even willing to pay us for that referral.
Absolutely. And so what you want to do is, first of all, get familiar with all of the resources that are available, because when you start putting and layering all of these benefits, the investment opportunities, the funding opportunities, the education, this program here, like you said before, is one of a kind. There's nothing else out there. And by the way, I bet you don't remember either Gerald or myself mentioning that you have to be licensed or that you're limited to a certain territory. We can do business. We can do this business, share the funding, share the information in all 50 states and our territories. If it's part of the United States of America, you have the ability to grow an enormous business helping other people.
It's amazing, my friend. I mean, $400 to refer someone to business funding, and a 25% check match on top of that. But now here's the thing about the check match. Through the end of September, we have the ability to take advantage of a promotion that the CEO has created that now pays us 100% check match. So you're going to make $400 when you refer someone to business funding, and they enroll. And then you've got a team, like Eric talked about, 1,100 people. There are people on that team doing the exact same thing. They're going to make $400, but at the same time, if you personally sponsor that individual, the matching bonus is now 100%. So you make another $400, and the legacy bonus has been carried over to this platform as well. You'll still get it on the front side, but you're also going to get it on the back side, $30 to as much as $150 in the legacy bonus for every business referred to your organization. Now, you're not doing all this work by yourself. You've got a team, and that's what this business of leverage is all about, and why that's so important. But let's talk now, Eric, about the lifestyle, the benefits of this membership, right? One, you get access to precious metals and leasing, access to MWR's exclusive precious metals and leasing program for passive income generation. We get financial experts like Eric Wilner, keys to home ownership, dedicated experts to assist in debt elimination, tax reduction strategy, credit enhancement. We've got a bill reduction program, and, professionals negotiate to lower your monthly expenses and increase your available cash flow. And our savings program, MWR Rewards, saves you money on your everyday purchases, shopping, dining. But Eric, before we leave this, I want to talk about how important it is to take a hard look at this membership, because we know what the cost is for a good CPA and financial planner in any city in America. Hovers around $200 to $300 an hour. And I've always said we've not been priced out of this thing. We've not been locked out. We've been priced out because most people can't afford it. But when we bring the quality of expertise to the table, and I'll just go through a few of them with you, but I want you to elaborate on the keys to home ownership and help people understand the importance of that program and why we're having so much success, because we're making dreams come true. People who otherwise could not even position themselves to walk into a bank and secure traditional lending for a home now have the ability to do it regardless of credit, regardless of lack of down payment, regardless of DTI. None of that matters. As you always say, when the banks say no, We say yes. But with Eric and Keys to Home Ownership, you also get access to CPAs, financial planners, enrolled agents, credit restoration expert, debt elimination expert, investment consultant, Keys to Home Ownership, Trust My Assets, a bill shredder component. The list is long, Mr. Weldon.
I'm just smiling here. I had a incredible day, which, by the way, in today, just today, think about the cost, what would have cost if I didn't have MWR. I had about a 2-hour conversation with our trust expert.
Wow.
And we went through a big conversation. So there's over $1,000 in value right there. I also had a conversation because now I'm changing my real estate business, and according to the state that I live in, Florida, I can instead of receiving commissions personally, I can receive it as either a PA, an LLC, or a PLLC. Well, to you and to me, that all of that is alphabet soup. What does that mean? So I pick up the phone, I call my MWR tax experts, and I tell them, this is my situation. This is what the state allows me to do. Which one of those is better for me for my taxes? And after about almost an hour conversation, they told me exactly what I needed to do, how to do it, and if I need more questions answered, they're always available. Think about that benefit. Would you pay, for that, or what would you pay for that kind of information, to have those people literally on retainer, on speed dial, available as many times? And unlike when you call your attorney, your CPA, or these other people, you're not on the clock being measured how much they're going to bill you, because it's all included in membership. I call this the Costco of finance. It doesn't exist anywhere else. But imagine, you have a membership, a huge inventory of services, and you get them at bulk prices available only to members. Now, you mentioned the Keys to Home Ownership. Obviously, a very special place in my heart for this program. When the banks say no, and they say no, more than 70% of the time, banks today cherry pick their borrowers, and it's getting harder and harder between affordability and the credit restraints. More and more people are struggling to become homeowners, and MWR made that, remember, aligned really well with my core value. MWR is going out of its way to help more people become homeowners. In fact, we have programs that are credit score independent. In other words, no credit score. You could have a 0. You could not even have a credit score, and you could still buy a house with MWR's Keys to Home Ownership. Again, when the banks say no, we say yes. If you can pay rent, if you can demonstrably prove that you can pay rent, well, why can't you pay that exact same amount and own instead of renting?
It's powerful, man. I'm telling you, the concept is like nothing I've ever seen. But you talk about helping people really make their dreams a reality. We've got the vehicle to do it. Let's talk about those services that you mentioned that otherwise would cost us more than any of us can afford. Walking off the street into a CPA's office or a financial planner, that number's too big for the average person, right? But for basically the price of a cup of coffee, we've got access now. You say you spent an hour plus, nearly 2 hours on the phone. God knows what that would have cost you if you didn't have the MWR membership. But here's the thing, what I love about those conversations you were having, those people that you were sharing that conversation with were licensed, trained experts, Eric, and someone had come to them outside of MWR, they would have paid the maximum price. So that's the advantage of this membership. So look at what we're doing here. And this number of $2,000 a month is based on the tens of thousands of people across this country who have already accessed this program and got the same kind of results that Mr. Wilner's got, savings, right? So we're putting back in the average person's pocket at the tune of $2,000 a month. Now, I don't care where you are in your financial life. If we have the ability to put $2,000 a month back into your pocket from your existing finances, Eric, I would call that a win.
100% a win. They say a penny saved is a penny earned. Well, how about $2,000 a month? Remember, that's times 12. That's $24,000 a year in savings. Would that, or could that, make a huge difference in your retirement? Absolutely yes.
No question about it, my friend. So let's break it down here. We talked about all these services that we can provide. We know what the average cost is walking into one of those offices off the street. We talk about offering you all of that suite of services that we discussed, keys to home ownership, CPAs, financial planners. The list is long. $149.97 a month. Not locking yourself into a contract, no setup fee. Your success is guaranteed. You even get a chance to build wealth with your partner. So the spouse is included. So complete access. We have the ability to unlock precious metals, purchasing and leasing opportunities while your personal team of financial experts helps you protect and keep more of the money that you make. You said it earlier, Eric. Our experts do the work. You enjoy the rewards.
In all 50 states. And
That's
so the beautiful thing about this, like you said, the experts do the work. They are licensed, by the way. They are vetted. They are top of the food chain experts. You know, they wouldn't work with a company of our size that is on a national basis if they weren't the best of their field. And so that's why I'm very comfortable. And I look at this as, you know, such an incredible deal. You talked about the average savings of $2,000 a month. Gerald, would you pay $149.97 a month if I could show you guaranteed that you could save over $2,000 a month? And I think that's the average number. I told you I almost saved that in a day.
Listen, I do it all day, every day. 149.97 in exchange for $2,000 a month in savings. Who wouldn't do it? I mean, it wouldn't make sense not to. But you compare this to like a Costco membership, right? That you get these breaks on all these incredible services, and so it does have its privileges, memberships. I mean, so we got one that works in a major way, and it deals with an issue that people are facing, and the issue is finances, right? So, Eric, here's the other part about it that we get a chance to partner with the fastest growing financial strategist company in the country. That's MWR. MWR, through this partnership, puts you and me in the middle of a multi-trillion-dollar year industry. We shared numbers with you early on as to how big this market is, right? So now, name a time in my life, your life, or anyone's life where money hasn't always been an issue, and will be for those who won't figure that or won't position themselves to get this thing figured out. And MWR is one way to do it, but we have a chance to go tell this story. And as you said earlier, be paid a ridiculous amount of money. And we're getting paid every single day. Let me show them again what that looks like. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7 days a week. So what is it going to cost me? Answer the $64 million question. Let's address the elephant in the room. I want to go in business with an existing, highly successful financial strategies company. What do I bring to the table to get started?
And it's amazing. First of all, there is the monthly membership of $149 plus that one-time setup and sign-up fee. And by the way, listen to what you get for that $100. Number one is that you get an existing business. We're not talking about starting a business from scratch. You got to figure everything out. You get a front-facing, marketing website, very nice and polished. Many of you probably have already seen it. That comes with your one-time setup. In addition to that, a back office. Now, the back office is deep because not only does it have tracking system, marketing materials, educational materials, but remember, it comes with real live experts to answer your questions. Should I form this my business as an LLC, an S corp, a C corp, or what, or a partnership? What's the best thing for my situation? So this is one-on-one tailored advice in a business that you can start for simply $249.97. And remember, I showed you that by the end of the first month, if you just find 3 people, you now have a business that already pays for itself, including the membership, and profits in 30 days. I was talking to somebody today about they had just gotten involved and invested an enormous sum of money, nothing like $250. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars to buy into an Airbnb property. Then they had to furnish it. Then they had to do a bunch of other extra things. And at the end of the conversation, this investor told me that all they're looking to do is to break even by the first year. And I'm saying, what kind of a business is that where you have to wait a whole year to break even? I can show you for less risk, greater support, higher return, a 100% IRS compliant business in a box. Today you learned about it, tomorrow you're in business, backed by all of the experts, plus a team of folks like you, Gerald Parker, Fernando Ramirez, and a lot of the other leaders who've been there already. It's your chance to literally, piggyback on the shoulders of giants who've already proven the system, and we'll show you very easily how to get your proof of concept in the first 30 days. And then from there, it's off to the races.
No question about it. Eric, you mentioned earlier about multiple streams of income associated with the revenue sharing plan. Let's look at those streams of income and we'll count them as we go. The luxury residual is in play. So that's one. The sponsor bonus makes two. The momentum bonus is three. The lifestyle bonus is four. The legacy bonus is five. MWR fundable referral, that's six. The matching bonus tied to that, that's seven. And in addition, the legacy bonus tied to that, that's 8 different ways that we're generating income. The potential to generate income from one revenue sharing plan is unheard of, my friend.
That's because it's in the finance business. And that's why, having a product or a service that's in the biggest worldwide, the biggest conversation that there is, the most frequent conversation that there is, backed by, a debt-free company, multi-million-dollar company in a multi-trillion-dollar industry. What else do you want?
I think we're on to something, my friend. So let's keep going here. Let's start comparing financial paths, right? And you and I think, enjoyed this slide more than many of them because it's so, this is like a gut check, right? This is such a reality, a hard look at life as we see it, because we're on a path right now, the great majority of us, and that's the traditional path. And we were taught that early on. What did they teach you to do? Go get yourself a good education so you could secure yourself a good job. And then you commit 40 years of your life, 40 hours a week to that job, and hope that after that time, you'll be able to enjoy some retirement. But the number 40 doesn't even make sense anymore. It's more like 50. But let's talk about the traditional path versus MWR path.
That's right. And, and this is what people are raised up to do. They see this as normal and, worst of all, okay. Like you said, the 40-40-40 trap, 40 years of your life, 40 hours a week to retire on 40% of what you weren't making it on when you had full income. Number two, you're risking your money every time you invest. In fact, nowadays, you even have to invest in your own retirement. Gone are the days of pensions and those things. You have to risk your own personal assets in order to be able to buy things and invest. You have to put up your own personal credit to even get in the door. That's what people are indoctrinated to do right now. They're taught, hey, you got to work harder. You want to make more money? Then work even harder. That's not the model that really works. You got to work smarter, not harder. You're taught in the media to settle for 5 to 7%. You're lucky if you can get 5% on a CD these days. You're told to be happy if the stock market gives you that 5 to 7% with all the risk that comes with it. And then, of course, social insecurity. I don't even have that as part of my financial plan. By the time I take Social Security, it may be gas money for all I care, because the maximum Social Security check today is $4,000. And ladies and gentlemen, we saw that as a small part of one of the incomes that you can generate with the precious metals. I will tell you that $4,000 is not what I would consider the golden years, especially when today the average rent is $2,000. So you got to live, eat, and fund all your expenses with the other $2,000. And then you got to pay Uncle Sam the taxes. Thank you, but no thank you. Let's talk about what we're talking about, the MWR path. Here, instead of thinking in terms of 40 years, why don't you think in terms of 5 years? By the way, who made up the rule that you got to dedicate 40 years? Who made up the rule that you got to work until you're 60, half broken down and too weak to enjoy the good things in life? We talk about how to use banks' money with no risk to your assets. In other words, we're looking at stepping up, not taking one step forward and 2 steps back. No personal assets required. In fact, I say personal assets acquired. No credit required. Good credit and business credit acquired. Leverage. Okay. You got to leverage the assets, let them work twice. You know, we have ways to show you how to make the same dollar earn 2 times, right? And
Yep.
that's what leverage is all about. And remember, you have the experts that are showing you the way. They're bringing you the products. You tell them what your situation, what your capacity is right now, because we'll meet you where you start. That's A. Point B, where do you want to be in 5 or 10 years? And then imagine having an expert, a certified financial planner, helping you to prepare in writing. Remember, I said belief number 2, you got to have that plan in writing. It's included in our membership. You get to have it. And we talk about generating 12, 24, 36% rates of annual return. A far cry from the 5 to 7% that the general society wants you to save. And here's the thing. There's 3 types of income in the world, Gerald. You know that there's only 3 types. There's active income. That's when you and I first get out of college or high school or wherever. When we start working, we're trading hours for dollars. We're trading, commission. We're trading hours for a salary. But you stop working, all of those stop. That's called active income. On the other side of the rainbow is what's called passive income. That's where you don't work for any of the income. You don't even get out of bed. It's what Warren Buffett talks about, so that your money is earning money for you while you sleep. And there's certain assets that do that better than others. And then in the middle is what I call semi-active. Building this team that we talked about, whether you do that in an insurance agency, a real estate brokerage, a mortgage company, a manager or an owner starts the company and then he hires other agents who go out there and he gets an override on everybody's work. This is the oldest form of business that's been around forever. What we're talking about today is not something new. In fact, even all of the investments that we talk about are not something new. As you said before, it's been reserved. The information has been reserved. Gerald, answer one question for me. Next year, in 2026, our great country is going to celebrate 250 years. We're 250 years old, and yet we haven't figured out that we should have finance being taught in our elementary school, our middle schools, and our high schools. In fact, it's not even taught in college. You're taught how to run a business for somebody else, not how to run your business. And that is a fundamental problem. And it's not like people don't know that that's a problem. They just don't want to do anything about it because the status quo is good for the people in Washington and on Wall Street and big business. So you have a choice to make. There's the traditional path, and maybe you're on it and doing well. God bless. But is there a better path? And I'm telling you that the MWR, for me, MWR is not my primary source of income, right? I'm very deep into the real estate business, rental properties, mortgage. But I saw this opportunity as the perfect add-on for a real estate or mortgage professional. This allows me to help more people. I never, by the way, remember when the banks say no, in the past, mortgage brokers have to just walk past those leads. They paid for those leads, earned those leads, but they're worth nothing. With MWR, all of those leads come back alive and can be worth a small fortune. And just to think about all of the other things with our membership, how we can help our clients really realize value.
Listen, I've always said that to realtors across the country, with you taking the lead, this is such a huge advantage for a realtor. You never have to turn anybody else down. I mean, if they walk in and can't qualify for whatever reason, listen, you've got a way to get them qualified or to get them into a home, and that's a huge advantage. But I want our audience, Eric, to understand who they're hearing from tonight. This man is one of the most successful real estate investors in the country, guy, and he's decided to plant his flag with MWR. That says a lot to me. But one other thing you mentioned, Eric, before the turn of the century, the great majority of people in this country were self-employed. They were working for themselves.
That's right.
And so how do we get hooked on this new system, man, where we're working for somebody else now and we're doing this until we die?
Well, that was the industrial age, right? Before, you had farmers, and that was done by family. You had your shopkeepers, the shoemaker, the candlestick maker. And you're right. In the beginning, when this country started, in fact, as recent as the early 1900s, 90% of businesses were small businesses.
Yep.
Today, they flipped the coin, because when the industrial age came along, big business knew that they needed employees. And so they help fund the schools, they help fund the universities, teaching them and indoctrinating them. And hey, listen, get good grades so you can get into a good college. And if you go to a good college, you can get a good job and you can get a career, a safe and secure career. Well, safe and secure, meaning that you'll never make enough money to be financially independent. And over the years, they used to promise pensions, health insurance, and a gold watch. Now you don't even get the gold watch, let alone health insurance. You have to pay for it out of your salary. The retirement plan, you got to pay for out of your salary. But they got everybody hooked. And now, because everybody lives from paycheck to paycheck, they feel, okay, and by the way, incorrectly, they feel that they can't leave that job because they've got to make the monthly payments, and their entire financial focus is on the wrong thing.
Wow, you said a mouthful there, sir, but that's where we'll find ourselves. But this is why, guys, we believe MWR is the perfect business. Think about it. Universal appeal, high retention. I mean, once they come, they stay. Immediate income. Eric talked about it earlier. You're getting paid daily, getting paid weekly. Right now money for right now bills. Recession proof, regardless of what the economy is doing. We have the ability to create our own economy. And as we mentioned earlier, you refer, our experts do the work, and you get paid. And you get paid a ridiculous amount of money to share the good news. Now, there are many people across the U.S. that are engaged in MWR and have been, like myself, since day one, and are having tremendous amount of success. The top income earner, Eric, you talked about the ability to generate streams of income and what this thing looks like, with the ability to max out to $15,000 a day. I mean, how about $1,500 a day? This is our top income earner, Mr. Brian M. Bean out of Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, this is so impressive, man, that this gentleman really gets it, and he understands the millions of dollars that he's made with MWR in the past 5 years. He parlayed that money into investments, like Bean Acres in Atlanta, Georgia. He rents the property out for movie shoots, weddings, all kinds of things like that. So it's generating income. He's got a condo in Dubai. Charles and Judith Ivory, that picture you see was pre-construction. That's their dream home, 6,000 square feet on a lake. That house is completed now, and they're living in it. And they retired, both retired military, took jobs with the federal government after retirement, were furloughed during the COVID crisis, and opted not to go back to work when it was time to go back, because they were generating more income from MWR than they would have been making together going back to work. My story, not much different. I saw it 8 years ago at a time when I really needed it, and plugged in, did exactly what the experts told me to do. Huge savings across the board, $350 a month in taxes back into my pocket, $200 a month back into my pocket because of the credit score increase. Took that money and invested into the private reserve account, which was paying me 10 times more than my 401k. And put me in a position to retire in 10 years. When all that happened, I began to share the story even more, even louder. And as a result, within 2 years, started generating enough income from this very revenue sharing program that Eric went over with you, to position myself to walk away from a $65,000 a year job to do this full time. So, Eric Woodland, there's nobody in this country that can ever tell me that MWR does not work. But let's talk about the cost of us procrastinating, dragging our feet, staying on that old system versus looking at a new system like MWR. What is it going to cost us? About $500,000. So the question is, can we afford not to do MWR? And I've always said this: if not MWR, then what? And if not now, then when? And surely, if not you and I, then who? But Eric, think about it. I mean, we developed some incredible comfort for an individual who joins us on this crusade. They're now part of a community. What are the advantages of being a part of what we're doing?
Well, first of all, think about what coaches and mentors are charging out there in the marketplace for you to have the privilege to rub elbows with people who are successful in their own rights. Here, that is an everyday occurrence. We have, a number of great leaders who've come from every single background possible, from from the trades, plumbers, electricians, and roofers, to engineers, doctors and scientists, real estate professionals, mortgage professionals, financial professionals, you name it. We have CPAs and bookkeepers and accountants, you name the field. In our ranks of tens of thousands of people, there, that field. Teachers do well, everybody. When you have the rules of the game and a supportive community to back you up, the ongoing education that's provided so that you can get in as deep as you want into the weeds, learning about finances, but always know that you've got experts behind you, that if you don't want to become a PhD in finance, well, let the experts help you. All you have to do is give them the information for them to work with. And the mentorship that I talked about, that's a natural part of building this kind of an organization. We have recognition, we have conferences, just like everything else. So if you're tired of being self-employed out alone on an island, this is a great opportunity. If you're tired of the corporate, rat race, this is a great opportunity. The bottom line here is, here's your opportunity to work on your own terms at your own pace from your own location and be as successful as you're willing to make it.
Wow. That's incredible, Sarah. But you're absolutely right. A great deal of support here. So, Eric, there's some steps that we take now. And we've covered the cost. We talked about all the advantages. We talked about what we bring to the table in the way of services, the investment vehicles, all of those things. So what happens next?
Well, number one, get back with the person. First of all, give them a big hug, but thank them for introducing to this opportunity. If nothing else, they just opened your eyes to an area that a lot of people are not aware. But get your questions answered. They will answer any and all of your questions. And P.S., if you ask them a question that they don't know, they've got plenty of people, we got a huge network. We will get your questions answered. Number two, choose the level that you want to be involved. I think it's a no-lose proposition when you have a 30-day money back guarantee, that if you don't save more than what the cost of the membership is, they'll give you a full and cheerful refund. But here's the thing, Dr. Gerald Parker, one of the reasons why he's $1 million ring earner, and I love, every Wednesday night when I get to, stand shoulder to shoulder with one of the original members of MWR, probably one of the poster child, because what he did very intelligently is that he said, let me try this out. Let me try it all out. And he's gotten recognition because he's used every single service that's available. He goes out there and uses. Why? Because they work. Why? Because the benefits that he has gotten has allowed him to walk away from a $65,000 a year job, above average income. And he, you see his smile all day long. What you see is what you get all the time. And he's walking on about 6 inches of air all the time because he's excited to share the good news. So choose the level. If it's the membership, wonderful. If it's the business, then Gerald and I want to be the first to welcome you. You're just opening the door to one of the greatest opportunities, a life-changing opportunity. And for only a $100 additional one-time fee, for me, it wasn't even a thought. That's dinner out on a Saturday, but instead I got a business. And I have a business that has unlimited income potential, and I get to make a positive impact on the people that I share that with. So get your questions answered. Choose which level you want to do, and then complete your enrollment. The enrollment takes about literally 5 minutes. It's literally a 1-page application. Remember, you don't have to be licensed. We don't need a lot of background. What you need to bring to the table is your information, your background, and let the experts do the work and take you forward. And then talk to the person who brought you here. We have amazing ways to help launch your business and get out there. We've been talking about 3 or 12 people. You should be able to tell 100 people And the more that you use the services, I promise you, the more you'll tell people and the more money you will save and invest for your future.
No question about it, sir. It is the greatest opportunity that exists on planet Earth. And ladies and gentlemen, Eric's already said welcome. But on behalf of myself and Mr. Wilder, we want to be the first to welcome you to the MWR family. This is where lifestyle and legacy connect. This is Make Wealth Real, guys. And you've just seen and heard what I consider to be the greatest opportunity that exists on planet Earth. So, Eric, we're going to find a way here to stop the screen share. We're going to come back out to the field, get Fernando to unlock us so that we might be able to hear from some people. If there are any questions, now will be the time to get your questions answered. We don't want you to leave this platform tonight without having a full understanding of what you've seen and heard. So you can access now your cameras and also your microphones. And Eric, thank you so much, sir.
We were talking about you can do this business from anywhere. You know, here I am, you know, here I am doing it from anywhere, somewhere. It really doesn't matter. And you and I have had fun, you know, over the years. We have done this presentation and some of the most unique and interesting. We've done it in hotel lobbies. We've done it, you name it. But, you know, that's why you and I have so much fun with this, because this is not a stressful business. This is a stress-free, it's a stress-relieving business out there. And I hope people will take a good, strong look at it.
Absolutely. So do I, sir. I really do. So, Mr. Fernando Ramirez, thank you again, sir, for putting this together and helping us make all of this happen. It's truly an honor to be in business with you and just, you know, on this journey with you, man, from day one, the moment you showed up, your level of enthusiasm, the work ethic that I see in you. I mean, I copy that. And I'm honestly believing that a great part of my success is a result of what I've seen you do. And I'm taking notes, my friend. So continue to be who you are. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Dr. G.W. Parker. I mean, it's an honor to work alongside all the leaders that are here with us tonight. But you, Dr. G.W. Parker, Mr. Eric Wilner, it's an honor to represent you both. You guys are committed 100%. So why wouldn't I be? So, you know, because we actually connect with each other's energy and we're committed to the mission. And our mission is to be able to help anyone that has a big dream, that wants to accomplish their financial goals and dreams so they can actually leave a legacy, because that's what we're doing here. So anyone that is here for the very first time, Dr. G.W. Parker, Mr. Eric Wilner, thank you so much. Open up your microphone or in cameras if you have any questions. It looks like all the questions were answered.
It looks like it. That's good.
Oh,
Richard?
then everyone can open up their mic and say goodnight and
Yes.
you know, get back with the person that invited you. Have a conversation. At minimum, have a conversation.
Most definitely. Thanks again, leaders. Appreciate you all. Have a great night. Get back with the person that invited you and let them know I am ready. I am ready to get started, because we definitely want to be a part of the mission and want to have you be a part of the mission. Take care, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good night. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
Bye.
you so much.
Good night. Great
Good night.
presentation.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Bye,
Good
everyone.
night.
Thank you.
Good night.
God bless you all.